So I was thinking the other day about what makes someone black, and like the obvious answer is like skin color, duh. um, but I was looking at how I have this fear of, I guess it's just this fear of getting my race card pulled, right? Like, oh, you're not black no more, which is silly, I know, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well then, what makes someone black? If I could have my race card pulled, right? Then we're saying it's not just the skin color, right? There's a culture involved there. There's certain mannerisms or certain things that you can do that's like good, and other things that you can't do or shouldn't do that's like now you're an Uncle Tom, or whatever other kind of slur like that, which is it's interesting to think about. That means that in order to be considered like really black, well, then that means you have to conform to the culture. You have to be taking place in that culture, or adhering to that culture and doing things that are expected of you, which then kind of creates this idea that, like, all right, then you can't actually do or be an individual, or do what you want to do. You have to do what's already been expected of you or prescribed for you, right? And even just looking at, beyond just being black, like in other races or ethnicities, even, there are certain things that are like cultural, like the way that someone might speak, or certain accents on things, or the way you might describe something, um, like something's hype, or lit, or something, which is like a cultural thing, but like that's for a younger generation, right? Um, but the interesting thing I see about that is, if you continue with uh, that culture and use it as an excuse for not adopting other cultures, or for not growing and expanding yourself to the most that you could be, because then if you go outside of your quote unquote culture, then you're you're changing, or you're doing things different. Like now you're the bad guy. And it's interesting how we use culture as a way to manipulate each other and ourselves to continue doing or being uh, the same, and not changing and not growing. And I'm not exactly sure why we do it. It's like, I know that I want to be respected as an individual, but I also, was listening to uh, that Jay-Z song where he's talking about OJ, and he says, OJ's like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. And then right after that, he's like, okay, which is almost saying like, well, actually, that whole song is about still being black, right? Like you're still black. Oh, dude, what's going on with my feed? That's interesting.